Hello and welcome to this Thrones of Britannia benchmark test video. So we're going to be putting Thrones of Britannia through its paces to see what the performance is like, because for those who aren't aware, Thrones of Britannia is built upon the Total War Attila engine, and Total War Attila had some performance issues. So let's jump into the options menu. Now this is what it's set for me by default. Everything is set to Ultra. I've made a couple of alterations. I've turned off depth of field and proximity fading. Anti-aliasing is set to 4 times, and I believe that's MSAA. So this is pretty much what I had on Attila, but slightly higher. Now Attila had, I believe it had low, medium, high, ultra, and then extreme. This only goes up to ultra. Now I ran Attila on high settings, so I'm curious to see if Thrones has a performance boost if I'm running it on slightly more demanding settings. So let's jump into the benchmark. Okay, here we go. We've got a little FPS counter up in the corner there, you can see. So we're about 55, so just under 60. Going down to the 40s now. Would it go under 40? No, not yet. Still running, not at 60, but we're just under 50. Now if this was Attila, I'd probably be looking at about 20 to 30 frames per second in this kind of scene. So that does look to be like an improvement. It's not a significant improvement, but it is an improvement. And this is of course bearing in mind that this is actually running on the more demanding settings than I'd be running Attila on. So if I did drop the settings down a little to a more comparable level that I had them in Attila, I'd probably get even better performance. This is looking better. Like I said, not significantly better. Okay, as we move through the rest of the benchmark, a lot of fire effects here, but we're still maintaining just under 60 or 60 itself. Okay, we sweep over that fire, we get a drop. It's not too bad. Okay, you can see our results there. We've got those drops in the initial. The lowest it went is probably just about 38, 39. But yeah, I think if I'd been trying to run Attila on comparable settings, it would have been down here into the 20s. So that's looking better. Like I said, not significantly better, but better. Okay, so we've run the benchmark. Now, the problem with benchmarks is they're not always that reflective of actual in-game performance. So that's what we want to do. We're going to jump into a custom battle now. So I've set up a land battle between Wessex and Suren, and I'm going to have real problems pronouncing these games when I'm in campaign. So we've got 20 units per side. I did think about putting it on 40 units per side, which you can do, but that's, as I said, I want to try and make this custom battle a little more reflective of an actual battle in the game, the kind of battles you're typically going to be fighting. Okay, so we've got 40 units on the screen, on a land battle. Let's jump in. Okay, here we are. So let's activate my on-screen display so you can actually see the FPS. It's up there. I don't know how clear that will be. If I remove the UI, you can see that better. So we're currently at 60. Now this says that I'm not using any video RAM at the moment. which is obviously incorrect. Now this is either related to the engine itself not registering that properly, or it's just that my OSD needs updating. But you can see the frame rate, so we won't worry too much about that. So as we zoom in, once again, let's move the UI. You see we're still on 60. We're dropping down there into 50s, but this is actually pretty good, pretty smooth. Now if I was in Attila right now on these kind of settings, it would probably be about 20 to 30 frames per second, so I guess they weren't lying when they said it was an improvement. Now like I said, it doesn't seem like a massive improvement. Like we're dropping down to 30 there, now we're zoomed in. Let's zoom out again, and we jump straight back up to 50. Is that really that demanding when we zoom in? Let's try that again. Zoom in. Yeah, you can see once you zoom in, get real close to these guys, that's when you take the hit. Down to 40. Zoom out. Back up to just under 60. So let's try sweeping along the line, see what we get here. Pretty good. Let's get the other army in, so we've got all 40 units loaded in. There they are. Still maintaining 60 at a distance.
Set for war.
Let's get them marching, moving. Okay, let's zoom in on these guys a little. Dropping down to 50. Some nice detail on these units.
I can see trouble ahead.
In the 40s now.
Our foes are in sight.
Okay, that's looking better though.
Take the fight to them! God is with us!
Slowly move through their bodies, which is a little strange.
We will prevail!
Okay, this is actually looking pretty good. So yeah, we're getting a few drops, like I say, as we zoom in, as we get close to units. That's expected. But I don't think we've dropped below 40 unless we've zoomed really close to these guys. You know, if we get right into their faces, that's when you take the hit.
I can see trouble ahead.
If you want to get real close, like really close.
Our foes are in sight.
Oh, we've gone up to 60 now. I guess it's about if you get to about this distance, that's when you get the problems.
I can see trouble ahead.
But for the most part, this is looking pretty good.
Our foes are in sight.
Okay, let's quit out of that.
All hope is.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this video here, and we're going to run a few more tests on different settings, which you don't want to see me fiddle with settings for about half an hour. That wouldn't be very fun. And then I'm just going to tag another bit on the end of this video with sort of like a final conclusion. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. So I've been running a few more tests with the in-game options, and I think I'm going to keep it on these settings because it actually seems to be running strangely. I tried dropping a lot of these settings to high and turning down anti-aliasing to MOAA, and my performance actually seemed a little worse. I don't know why, but that's what happened. I actually got a slightly worse benchmark dropping those settings, so I think I'm going to keep it on these settings for now. I won't really know until I get into the campaign. And obviously more of the campaign map has revealed how well it will run then, but for the most part it seems pretty good. Now I guess if you want like an overall conclusion, I mean, bearing in mind the game's only been out a few hours, I haven't really jumped into the game properly yet. This is just running the benchmark, this is running some custom battles to test it. I would say performance wise, if you want a comparison to Attila, it's better than Attila. It's not significantly better than Attila. It's a step up. It's not a massive step up, it's a little step up. It's definitely smoother. I'm not too sure about siege battles yet because I haven't thoroughly tested those, but it is a step up than Attila. I can say that much. I'm pretty confident saying that it's a step up from Attila, not a massive step up, so that's something to be aware of. Now, compared to say Warhammer 2, a more recent game on a newer version of the engine, it's not as good. Warhammer 2 I felt was a lot better optimised than this. You know, this is the problem with it being built on an older engine. It's not as I'd say visually it's not quite as good as Warhammer 2, and performance-wise it's not quite as good. But the Attila engine always did look very nice. This still looks very nice. But yeah, I mean, it's almost a shame that they didn't build this game off the Warhammer 2 engine. I don't really, well, I mean, this has been in development for a couple of years apparently, so maybe that's why they didn't. But yeah, so if you're expecting Warhammer 2 levels performance optimization, lower your expectations. This is more like Attila plus a bit extra. It's better, it's not significantly better. And that is where I'm going to leave this video. That's my final conclusion based on what I've seen. Obviously as I get into the game, that might change. Maybe it will run a bit smoother when I'm in the game, maybe it'll run a little worse, but based on what I've seen so far, it's okay. It's not a massive step up, but it's enough of a step up that I'm fairly happy with it. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful, and I'd say right now, if you are still concerned about performance, you know, maybe wait, check out some more videos, see how other people are testing it, how they're finding it. It's more of a, you know, proceed at your own risk kind of deal. If your performance in Attila, if you've played Attila and your performance was terrible, then it might not be that much better here. It will be better, I think, but it won't be a significant step up. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you in the next one.